With the lockdown quarantine in progress, I decided to do a video build of the Mirage 2000 in the Indian Air Force scheme. This is the Heller 172 scale kit, and you can see as you open the box you are greeted with this simplistic instruction sheet, which is in the form of a booklet with 5 steps in total for the assembly and then the color callouts. I'd be using the common decal sheet from the kit box for the Mirage 2000, and for the Indian Air Force markings and insignia, I'm going to print the decals at home. The cockpit seat and floor assembly was done in a matter of a few hours, as this was simply painted black and the seats were painted green. Now, I built a couple of Mirage 2000s. To be precise, I built about 4 Mirage 2000s earlier. These were Heller and Italy kits, with the Heller kits being much simpler to assemble and build. So, with nothing out of the ordinary in this kit assembly, I proceeded with the assembly of the airframe and the delta wings, which are the trademark of the Mirage. The only challenging part of the assembly of this kit was the masking of the canopy, and since this is a trainer version that I'll be doing, so the masking of the front and the rear canopy had to be done very carefully, and this was a very time consuming and tedious process to mask the 2 canopies. But all in all, the effort paid off and the masking went smooth. As far as the filling and sanding of the kit is concerned, there were very few places which had to be filled with Comfill automotive filler, and I purchased this new tool, which is actually a nail file, an electric nail file with a collet in the front and a switch at the back, with a set of sanding rolls that you can see and a sanding collet that you can use. So I wanted to try this, and the trial went very nicely. It actually helped me in speeding up the filling and sanding process on the entire model. Once the priming was done, I used the IAF grey-blue color that I had produced by mixing Fevicryl white, black and a little bit of turquoise blue. I added that mixture to some IPA thinner into my airbrush and then began spraying the underside of the model, and this spraying was actually done at almost 30 psi for getting a good overall coverage. And the same thing was repeated for the top side of the model as well. The second most time-consuming thing on this model was to get the masking pattern of the camouflage with blue tack. I'm using the Camlin Cobalt blue color here, and I have toned it down with a little bit of white to represent the blue on the Indian Air Force Mirages. The idea here being to spray at 15 psi and always ensuring that I am spraying perpendicular to the model and ensuring that the spray always remains within the boundaries of the blue tack. And then my standard Daler-Rowney gloss varnish as a means to protect the paintwork underneath, and as a step in the preparation for the decals which are about to go onto the model, I simply brushed on the varnish onto the entire model. So while the paint was drying, I had decided to scratch build the spice bomb for the Mirage 2000, and these were the bombs that were recently used during one of the airstrikes that the Indian Air Force was involved in. And so I went ahead with some scrap plastic and spare pieces of other weapons that I joined in together, and with some pieces of credit card I made the control surfaces of the bomb, and finally primed and painted it up to represent the spice bomb. And then my standard procedure to apply the decals, which I have reiterated numerous times in my videos. And then this was the final most difficult part on the Mirage, which was to place the marcher decals along the trailing edges of the wing, along the flaps and the ailerons and the wing root section. I felt that I should have cut these marcher decals into halves or maybe 3 parts, and then accordingly I should have applied the decals on the model. And finally, once the decals were done, it was time to unmask the canopy and take the model for its final photo shoot. And here are the final build and reveal pictures. The Mirage 2000TI from 7th Squadron Battle Axis, Indian Air Force. I hope you enjoyed the video. Click on the thumbs up, like and subscribe. I'll see you again in the next video. Bye-bye.